Good morning, friends. It's Heather at Bush Poppy Farm. Hope you're doing well. It's a very chilly 29 degrees Fahrenheit outside. So I thought I would give you guys another seed haul video so that it can warm up a little bit before I go out and brave all my chores. Thank you so much to all of the new subscribers that we have. Welcome. And to everyone who's been here for a while, thank you so much as well. I really appreciate all of you taking time out of your day to sit and watch me do stuff. I appreciate it. So welcome. For those who are new here, I am Heather Morano. I live in Zone 9B in Northern California in the San Francisco Bay Area. I've got two kids, one's in college and one's getting ready to finish his junior year in high school. And we live here on a tiny little urban homestead with our cat and a bunch of chickens and my lovely husband who does so much for me. So thanks for joining me. And we're going to be talking about gardening and farming, flower farming, and all kinds of good stuff on this channel. So I hope you stick around. Today, we're going to be doing a seed haul that's kind of a mixed bag, but I wanted to give you guys seeds that had photos on them. Next week, we'll do a Johnny's seed haul video. None of those packets have photos, so I'll have to insert photos for all of those. So that will be a separate video. So today, we're going to be doing a video for botanical interest, high mowing seeds, and I think there's some Peaceful Valley in there as well. So let's get started. Okay, so we're gonna start with vegetables. This is a big, it's a thick bunch, so I'm trying not to drop them. So the first thing I've got here is from Renee's Garden seeds. These are Painted Lady runner beans. And I know runner beans are a very popular thing over in the UK. Not as much here, but I'm looking forward to growing these guys. So I'm gonna get these guys started relatively soon, actually. Okay, then I've got another packet of beets. This one is Touchstone Gold. The other day when I did the seed haul for Baker Creek, I had another golden beet in there. So lots of golden beets this year. Now moving on to corn. So this first variety I talked about also from Baker Creek, it's Martian Jewels. I might put some of these out at the farm and just see how they do. Corn's just really fun to grow. And so if I have it in multiple places, then I have multiple options for success. Then the next one is a corn from High Mowing Seeds called Who Gets Kissed. What a great name for corn. This one is a very sweet corn. And it says, compact 5 to 6 foot tall plants with ears 2 feet off the ground. So a much shorter corn than some of the other varieties. Moving on to cucumbers. Okay, so this is one of my favorites and one of everybody else's favorites too. It's Market More 76. This one's from High Mowing Seeds. Very productive cucumber and very tasty. Okay, so I got some pickling cucumbers as well because I do want to make some pickles this year. Last year, cucumbers were kind of miserable for me. I don't know if it was the extended cold season that we had, but they just barely produced. So this year I'm hoping that I can get a lot of production out of them and I'll actually be able to make some pickles this year. So this one is a homemade pickles cucumber and this is from Peaceful Valley. So it's 5 to 6 inch cucumbers with some spines that you just rub off with your gloves and supposed to be disease resistant. I haven't really had much trouble with powdery mildew. We don't get downy mildew here, at least not that I've seen. I haven't had much problem with powdery mildew in a while. Knock wood. Watch I say that and it destroys my garden this year. But even with our squash plants, and I don't know if it's because we are just so hot and dry in the summertime, or maybe it's the spacing and the fact that I keep the plants, pruned so that there's some airflow. I don't know, but we've been pretty lucky. But it is nice to have seeds that do have that ability to be resistant. Okay, and then a slicing cucumber called Manny's. Now moving on to melons. I love melons. The whole family loves melons, and I've yet to be able to grow successfully a melon. I did grow one year those little individual cantaloupe melons. They're about this big, but there was only one on the whole plant. So I am going to try to up my game this year and actually give them, I've been trying to do them in our raised wooden beds, and I think they just don't dig that location. So I'm going to try the in-ground beds this year. I have a really big in-ground bed that's going to be a Three Sisters garden. So we'll put some squash and some melons in there, and we'll see what happens. Maybe they just need more space. I can also try them out at the farm. Okay, so this one is Hearts of Gold Melon. Says it's aromatic, sweet, and deep orange flesh. So here's to hope. Okay, peppers. I got a lot of peppers this year. Like I said, maybe it'll be a banner year for peppers because I still have, I think, 4 plants in the greenhouse that are doing just fine overwintering. So those should bloom first, hopefully, and then the other peppers that I'm going to plant will be later on. This is shishito. I love these. You know, they're supposed to be mild pepper and they're really amazing blistered, but occasionally you'll get a really spicy one. So it's kind of a crapshoot as to what you're going to get when you bite into them. And then I found this one. This is Botanical Interest. There's a couple of really interesting peppers on there this year. This one's called Megatron. It says producing extra large, thick-walled, flavorful chili peppers that reach 4.5 inches long. So we'll see what happens on those, but that would be, it's a jalapeno type, so I bet that would be really yummy in cowboy candy. Maybe I can mix that in with the Craig's Grande jalapenos. Okay, and then this one, I'm really looking forward to. It's beautiful, first of all. This one is Pasilla Bajillo. Pasilla means little raisin, so they're going to be kind of a dried form of the chilaca pepper. It says fresh chilaca adds depth to red enchilada sauce and salsas, and the dried pod is flavorful, an important ingredient in mole. We've been eating a lot of mole this winter, and it's made by a local company that makes amazing. It's so good, and again, it's local, so it's really nice. But I have made mole in the past, so I kind of want to try it with my own peppers. I think that would be super fun. Okay, and then this one's I've grown before. I like this pepper a lot. It's a bell pepper, California Wonder. It's very prolific, so it's really nice. Then we have a few more here. Another one that I've grown before. This is the Carmen. This is also a kind of bell pepper. It's very sweet. It's a sweet Italian pepper, so very tasty. And then a hot pepper called New Mexico Joe E. Parker. So it's a southwestern style Anaheim pepper. So I think we're going to have a lot, if these produce well, if I grow them well, a lot of yummy pepper this year. Okay, moving into my very favorite plant family, cucurbits, pumpkins, and squash. So we have the Howden pumpkin here. This guy is a quintessential carving pumpkin, it says, with upright, rich orange color, thick walls, and sturdy handles. So here's hoping I can get some good pumpkins this year. Absolutely love pumpkins. I love them for their decor possibilities, and we eat them too because they're super yummy. So here's another one. This is a Cinderella pumpkin. And then, because I'm doing this in alphabetical order, now we're going to sage. It's just broadleaf sage. I needed more sage in my green stock. You know, the green stalks are amazing for growing herbs, and I have one that's all strawberries and one that's all herbs. But I do need to refresh those. So, you know, because the soil gets, you know, used up. It rains, you know, watering, all that stuff gets leached out. So I do fertilize them, but I do every year need to kind of take them apart, add some extra soil, replace some plants that are just done. Especially, you know, some of the herbs don't really survive 28, 29 degree Fahrenheit nights. And so, yeah, so I need to be starting more herbs to put in my tower. Okay, moving into squashes. We have a beautiful winter squash called Lakota. Look at that. And it's beautiful, but we will definitely eat it. Okay, and this one is a zucchini style squash. It's called Cube of Butter. It just sounds good, right? I'm definitely going to be getting this one and eating it. I have lots of luck with zucchini, like most people do. So that's one of the many squashes that I grow that actually do really well. And I usually only have a couple of plants and they produce prolifically. So that one will hopefully be one of them. And 3 more tomatoes to add to the list. This is a very famous one, Berkeley pink tie-dye tomato. And Amish paste. I always grow Amish paste. These guys are so great for saucing. And then a sweetie cherry tomatoes, so full tomato and super sweet cherries. I think I still have some seed left for the sun gold. Those did amazing last year, amazing. I had them in these 2 wine barrel pots that are on the other side of this window, and they just pumped out the tomatoes even through frost. It was crazy. And then finally, a turnip. And this is the Market Express. It's a white turnip. I think it's so funny. These guys look just like giant white radishes, but they're not. They're turnips. So I didn't get as many flowers from these seed companies this year, but I did get a few. So another packet of 4 o'clocks. This one's called Marvel of Peru. These are slightly different from the ones that I got from Baker Creek. Now these are deer resistant, so I think I'm going to actually try to put them in other places on my property that aren't protected areas, as well as out at the farm, because you never know. And seed packets are not expensive. It's a great way to experiment with different varieties, and it doesn't really end up costing you much if they fail. So I'm going to try this in both locations and see what happens. And then I have some more marigolds. These, I grow the giant marigold heads, the Cocoa series, and I think there's is Kilimanjaro White. They're just giant heads of marigolds. They're beautiful. But it's also really fun to grow the tiny ones, because these little guys, this is Lemon and Tangerine Gems, they make little sprays of flowers, and so they're perfect for bouquets or small table arrangements, etc., because they just have these little pops of color everywhere instead of one giant bloom. Marigolds are also really great pest deterrents in your garden. Deer and rabbits and mice, they don't really dig them because they don't taste good and they kind of smell strong, which can be challenging for cut flowers. A lot of people do not like the scent of marigolds. However, it's the foliage that has the scent, not the flower. So if you are going to use it in an arrangement, if you just strip off the foliage, that smell will go away too. Something to keep in mind. Okay, and these are all kind of like, these next 2 are like trailing or climbing varieties. This one's a Morning Glory, Flying Saucer. I have so many little trellises that I like to grow these things up so that during the year they just provide so many pretty pops of color. And half the time I forget that I put them in, and then I just get surprised by the blooms. And then nasturtiums. I never stop buying nasturtiums, even though these seeds are so easy to collect and they sell so readily. So, but I love them. Every year there's new varieties and they're just so beautiful. They're edible. They are great trap crops to attract, invertebrate pests away from your vegetables, and they just look so pretty, and like I said, you can eat them. So definitely get yourself some nasturtiums. I put them around the edges of all of my garden beds, and I like the trailing varieties because then they kind of tumble down the raised beds and they look so pretty. And then finally, a red poppy called American Legion. So that is my botanical interest seed haul for the year. Also threw in some high mowing seeds as well as some Peaceful Valley seeds in there as well. So let me know in the comments if you're going to be growing any of these. Botanical interests seeds are available in nurseries all across the country, and you can also get them on their website. Epic Gardening is now the new owner of Botanical Interest Seeds. That happened sometime in 2023. And so you can get a link, get to their seeds through that website as well. I'll put links in the show notes below. Thank you so much for hanging out with me this morning. I'm going to finish my coffee and then brave the chilliness outdoors Gotta go check on the chickens, and I have some farm and garden chores to take care of. It's gonna be a beautiful sunny day. I hope you have a wonderful time in your garden, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.